So we're going to go through the SBCs again. We have got a few more added to it and a lot more taken away. We are now looking at kind of the final couple of weeks of these icons, so we will run through them pretty quickly as we did have a massive evolution yesterday for our man Thierry Henry. Now this kind of just solidifies the card. We had this last week where I said he more than likely will get an upgrade at some point soon. I believe Rob said that it would be kind of during the Ultimate Team of the season. I thought that could have been a potential for him, but he's already got one, which is incredible to see. It may not be the number one upgrade, like obviously it's mainly 99 dribbling, giving himself the quick step plus, but we are getting him up to a 94. It's a very interesting path to be on because now there is a potential that he does get an upgrade very soon again. So don't just take the bait on the very first one. That is always the mistake on any evolution, any SBC is don't just go for the very first option that they dangle in front of you, because normally 5 more are coming straight after and maybe you pick the right one. That really does, though, emulate what I'm personally going with Henry. He is absolutely and will always be a must complete with the rating, with the stats, with the playstyle pluses. They are a perfect combination for this 92. Now, obviously, if you've got his 95, 90, 93, whatever, fair enough. Like, there's not much more that you can do to that sort of card just yet. But he's still a wonderful SBC if you wanted to go that way. Now, in terms of the icons, we will fly through them as, to be honest, most people want to see about the team of the seasons. We have got a few weeks left on pretty much most. We've got 2 days left on Hullet. We've got a week left on Gerd Muller. And then we've got all the way up to a month on Thuram, onto Eto'o. They may be just a bit more than a month, so they will start to go down the cycle. For me, I'm just going to run through what I personally would think. Hullet, until that day the SBC's gone, he is always worth it. He has been in the team since day dot and he's been incredible. Yes, there is now players that are on his level, much more on his level, and some that are better. So it's not necessarily the absolute kind of number one option, don't change anything, but in terms of an SBC, you can guarantee that he's going to be in your team for a considerable amount of time. Hullet will always be that guy. When we look at kind of the rest, I think Thuram is another one that you could consider a player that you could keep into your team for a considerable amount of time. If you do pack someone like Trent and you're building a Liverpool team, maybe you just really like Trent, any other right back, or Dumfries for instance, then fair enough. They are also in that sort of category of you wouldn't have to actually get rid of them. You could go ahead and look at the Dumfries that we've got now, and you could happily put him in. Where is he? The 94. You could happily put him in as well as Thuram in terms of that category. And you might prefer a certain right back, but both of them are on that high end. You don't need to change them, which is the best bit about of an SBC. If you can get an SBC that is going to last in your team, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. We do look at a few of the others. You look at the Gerd Mullers now. I even look at the Eusebios, and they're okay. Like they're good value. You will get a solid amount from them, but they're not going to be the number one in my opinion. And I think that there's quite a few that could do that. Sauer will definitely do that. Drogba will. Eto'o will. I don't think Zico has ever been worth completing, to be honest. I think he's just been given a rubbish set of hands, to be honest. It just isn't a great set on him personally. I'm not a big fan of Lahm, but I get that a lot of people would. Baresi wouldn't be in my centre-back list. Owen wouldn't be either. I'd consider Nedved. To be honest, I was really taken back by how good the card actually was on a consistent basis, so I'd give him a little bit. And Beckenbauer, to be honest, he's there for the nostalgic, isn't he? He's there just because he's a brand new player. Nobody's really seen him in the game for a considerable amount of time. But that's kind of where I'm personally sitting with a lot of these icons. But to be honest, you could just easily have a team of the season team. It's quite that simple. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. Now obviously in terms of a grinding method, there's just an incredible amount to do during the Serie A and during the La Liga. We're now got down to the bronze upgrades that give you gold. So these players now are the bread and butter of Team of the Season. They are the easiest ones to complete. They do take time. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not as if Due and kind of Dybala and all of them are cheap. They are still expensive cards, to say the least. But they are manageable to get the upgrade. So if we start at day dot, we look at the final player of the month going, and that is Pedri. 126,000. Great ability for an evolution if you wanted. Whether he gets anything during the La Liga Team of the Season, I think he's played well, I'm pretty sure. He's been in a lot of the matches. Obviously, Barcelona have won their title, so that is going to be an interesting set to see what rating he goes up to. You can obviously go up to the 94. There's been a fair few that have managed to go up and get to the 93 or 94. So I personally think he's kind of more of your fodder sort of player, and it would get rid of a lot of the fodder players in this. I think unfortunately your EFL are going to be more Evos more so than anything. We then have, if we run through the prices so you can see them, we then have, if we go down, because we've spoke about a lot of these as well, go into the players. If we go to number 2, you've obviously got yourselves a Kim Min-jae at 188, a Pender at 390, 390 for Stanway, 44,000 for Mbuemo. I think that is a crazy deal. As much as they may not sit in your team massively, I get that, but if you're going for a Brentford fan, like, they are absolutely lapping that up. Caicedo at 150 is decent. Azaz, you got 28, 42, 63, 209. Murphy, unfortunately, is one that I'm going to throw in right now. I really think they screwed up on that price. I get that is a solid winger, but really there's nothing special. Bit of pace, bit of dribbling, rapid, fair enough, but it's followed by technical and relentless. It's just not enough. The English Prem tax there is outrageous. You then got the Vardy coming in at 900. You've got Due coming in at 830. I think you've got the female coming in at 180 for her end of era. And then that's going to be that kind of second page. So realistically, you're looking at kind of your SBC fodder on a lot of the silly cheap ones, which are going to be more either your Evos or later on down the line, potentially just fodder into other cards. You have got a few that kind of don't really come under too much. Like, I think when you look at the likes of Kim Min-jae, it's going to be standard. Like, Stanway is a good card. She's a good CDM, but she is definitely not going into that must complete. We kind of then have a few more of the Evos, and then I think we're kind of going into the first. I think a Pender could give you a decent shout. Due and Vardy both been in for a considerable amount of time into this SBC pool. I like both of them. I think, really, Vardy has had an incredible career as well, just because I didn't realise that he's just completed his 500 appearances for Leicester and 200, I want to say 200 Premier League goals. I don't know if it was 200 Prem goals or 200 goals for Leicester, but regardless, what a feat. I think just even for that, that card is just now coming in at the absolute pinnacle. Like, this is potentially the last Vardy card at this sort of rating where the meaning is there, that could actually be worth it. So I think you've got to give him all the props he deserves for that one, which is always nice. Obviously, then we go to the first page. These are kind of your newer ones. We didn't really get to Sesko last time round because he was out after we did the SBC. So we started the Bundesliga. Now, again, we've got quite a lot that are just cheap and really not there. Like, even with Sesko, he's got the aerial, the low driven, the technical. It's a solid amount of stats, but realistically, it's going to be, unfortunately, evolution fodder. Xhaka, again, comes in, I'd say, in a decent value. He's got some nice playstyle pluses, a great 4-star, 5-star, coming in with the better stats on that defensive side. And you can kind of see where they're kind of going with it. So I would go, personally, for me, I'd be looking at the likes of these going in there with Sesko and also Yilmaz, and then we've also got the Italian lady. Xhaka would definitely go into that kind of decent value. And then we have kind of the free players here. So what's mental is obviously Zambo is coming in at 444,000. Don't get me wrong, we will look at him. And then you got Dybala coming in at 550. And I know you kind of, well, personally what I'm saying there is you are screaming name brand, you know who he is, versus somebody that, Zambo, we know he's got a good card, but realistically, is he known? No, of course not. Maybe in the Serie A, obviously, but outside of it, Dybala is a massive name. And you think, how can this guy be 440,000? Well, look at the stats in general. Like, the stats just absolutely are applauded. The bruiser, solid. Anticipate, thank you very much. With the long ball pass mixed with the stats, as we know, is a solid amount. Throws him into the Serie A, which is always better as well. Now, do I think he's absolutely worth 440? No, of course I don't. I mean, he's a good price for what you can grind out, but it just isn't. It's a crazy one to see how much he truly is. Like, I think he's like a Murphy. He's like 200k at max. Like, I mean, you've got centre mids like this, centre mids that have 90 across the board. So, unfortunately for me, I do like him in game, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Realistically, if he was 200, he should be in that must complete. Dybala is going to be very similar as well. I think he's a nice card. He's just not the best we've seen from him. The finesse is nice. The technical for me isn't. And then he's got the ping pass, which is good. The 5-5. The stats are solid. But there's nothing too crazy that's going, this is the card that you need to complete. So, unfortunately for him, he's going to drop into that decent value as well. Which leaves us with Mainu, who I think as a evolution card, if we do manage to go and win the Europa League, goes up to 96 with a 4-star 5 or a 5-star 4. With them stats going up, that could be a well-earned 65,000 coins. Even if you want him for a fodder purpose and you've got him up to that 96, regardless of which one you choose, that is incredible value for you. Now, I don't think right now he's in any position to be in a must complete to play in your team. He's most definitely in a must complete to be in the chance of getting the upgrade, but that is still going to be more your fodder option, more so than anything. Then the final one we have is Nuno Tavares. Now, obviously, that is Nuno Mendes. I thought I clicked the right one. You've got Nuno Mendes and Nuno Tavares coming in as the 92.51,000. Standard left back, nothing too crazy. He's got himself the jockey, the whipped pass, and the rapid. I think he's a good price. Like, it's not a bad price to say the least. I mean, when we look at left backs in general, there is going to be a considerable amount more where I'm like, that's kind of the card that you want. But that is going to be the list for today. It's interesting where everything shifted. I feel like we need like a big SBC coming that's just going to wipe the floor with fodder. But I can imagine that will come during La Liga. So let me know down below what you think. Make sure you do like and subscribe on this. And I will catch you all for the next one. Peace.